I like your hat.
Hello and welcome back to Verbose Mode by Tax here at Shift 2025, brought to you live from Zadar, Croatia. My next guest is Medhat. Welcome.
Hello, welcome.
And Medhat, we're going to talk about web performance.
Yep.
Now, all I know about web performance is that it sucks. Everything is very slow.
That's why we do exist, to enhance it, right?
Everything is very slow and very annoying.
Yes, that's true.
Tell me how we fix it.
Cool. Yeah, if I talk about this in general, web performance is a very interesting topic that everyone, no, I wouldn't say everyone, most of the engineers just ignore working on it because it takes a lot of effort, a lot of knowledge to tackle a problem in performance, and actually to make something a clear win in performance, you have to be over your nearest competitor or your last version with at least 20% better performance, so it can be clear that you are enhancing performance. So a lot of people are just avoiding it for that reason, and it's not really easy to tackle a problem in performance. You have to be knowledgeable about a lot of things, a lot of metrics, a lot of tools that you have to use. It's not just like implementing something and throw it away, especially in the front-end world.
Okay, so you just told me that it's impossible, but I will ask you.
No, it's not impossible.
But I'll ask you anyway. Tell me some easy and approachable ways that I am, as someone who is not very good in I'm not a web developer at all.
Okay.
I know the basics.
Yeah.
I can look at the developer console and kind of sort of make sense of it.
Yeah.
Maybe understand what AI generates for me in front end.
Yes.
How can I do better?
Well, the starting point usually is about measuring performance, because you can't fix anything that you can't measure, right? You need to know where you are right now and where you would like to go. We have different tools that you can use, and we have two types mainly of performance measurement. First one is synthetic testing, and this means that you are setting up an environment and test based on it. And this is by your hand in your browser DevTools. You can just run it, something like Lighthouse. Everyone knows it, I guess. And if you run Lighthouse, you get some metrics and some numbers, and you can work towards fixing and enhancing these numbers in your machine. But this doesn't mean that it will be blazing fast for everyone, because it only works on your machine that way. You don't know, other people are using different machines, different internet connection, and different memory size. Everything is different, so you can depend on this kind of numbers you get from Lighthouse and say, all right, I enhanced performance, let's go home. This is the first type. Second type is called lab testing. And this lab testing is based on real user monitoring, and it has to be real data. You are opting the user into some tools to gather some information. What internet connections are using, what memory it's available for them, and what are the different metrics, LCP or CLS or IMP, which is different metrics that are part of something big called Google Core Web Vitals, because Google introduced them in 2020. So you have to start from the baseline, which is Lighthouse on your machine, and then you take it over to a different level, which is real user monitoring, to see how your real user are experiencing your application.
So, but how do you need the user to do something for you to know of their performance?
Nothing at all. It's all about the developer. Developers are just setting up these tools and plugging the user or opting the user into this tool. It depends on who is making this website, and they decide to use this tool or the other. We have plenty of tools for real user monitoring. They call it also RAM for just a short name. So you start from baseline, and after baseline you have to depend always on the user data. If you don't have user data, you just keep optimizing at never ends.
Yeah, of course. So all right, so now we measured and it's not great. What can we do? Maybe some low-hanging fruits that every web developers can do to make it a little bit better.
Well, we have multiple things that you can do. I would start from the very common thing that everyone will recommend, which is looking into your biggest and the most costly asset you have, which is images and videos. Look at them, shrink them, use a version of them that is specific for web. So for example, for images, don't use JPEGs, don't use PNGs, okay? That's something from the past, right? You're supposed to use something like WebP or AVIF, something like that, or maybe JPEG-X as well. This is still not fully supported, but these stuff you need to keep in mind, and maybe you can create something called progressive enhancement. In this way, you are providing the best experience for people with the best case scenario, best internet and best device, best memory. And from there, you can degrade these features and make conditions to provide still the same user experience, but maybe less fancy or less animation or whatever you have. This is the first system, and this is the most common thing. But I'm going to fall back to my talk yesterday because I talked about something that is low-hanging fruit. You can just implement it now and gain a lot out of the box. It's something called speculation rules. Speculation rules is specified not to enhance performance for the landing page for the first visit. It enhances performance of navigation. So if you land on a page on your website, for example, and you start clicking some links, moving between different pages, this is mostly the most common experience for the user, not only the landing page. Landing page is important, really important to enhance, but navigating as well can be enhanced with only adding one script. You can add one script, it's called type speculation rules, and you can add different eagerness, conservative or immediate, and there you go. You can have a target of different links, if you will. I give a demo as well about my talk. I encourage people to go watch it. And in this demo, I showed one script. You throw it into the console log to inject it to this current page. And out of the box, you can switch between pages, and it was enhanced like 90%. There is one page that was loading in 1.5 seconds, and it becomes like in 100 milliseconds.
Wow.
Yes, the out of the box. That's something that you can do even without implementing. Just copy the script, throw it in the console, and see if it's beneficial for you. Well, I'm going to just add it to my code base, and you can even add it in a dynamic way because it's a script. If you have this funnel and the steps that the user is making in your website, if you're e-commerce or something, and you know that the user is searching and clicking in the first 3 links, for example, you can target these 3 links and load it ahead of time. Just pre-render them, so the user, when they land on the page and they click, it will be just an instant, as if it was there for a long time. It is caching them for 5 minutes in the memory of the browser and serve it. After 5 minutes, to discard it, and you can just target it once again.
Yeah, I love it, and that makes tons of sense, and especially today, most of the machines have extensive memory, so you can actually preload a lot and then make the user experience better. And it's all behind the scenes. The user doesn't see any difference except just everything loads faster.
It actually utilize a little bit of the memory of the user as well.
Of course.
But if they have, as you said, a lot of memory, they wouldn't feel it. But if they have maybe weaker machines with less memory, this will be banned. That's why I introduced another tip in my talk. If you are concerned about the memory usage and bandwidth, you can enable something on your server called the dictionary compression. So we used to have this compression of gzipping or Protly. You can enable something that called dictionary compression, and this is simply you are sending one version of file, maybe a page, and the other page is most probably changed in only like 10% of the page has been changed, and the rest is similar. And instead of going back and forth with the server to come with everything once again, with dictionary compression, you're using the first page as a dictionary for the second page. This way, you are only sending this 10% that has been changed. So the bandwidth will be used way less. Even if you have less memory, you wouldn't notice that. And also, if you have limited internet connection, maybe a quota or something, or data, you can just do speculation easily without any problem.
I love it. I love it. That's another great tip.
Yep.
So here you have it. 3. I love everything is in 3s. 3 simple tips of how to improve your performance today.
Yep.
Use the right format for images and video.
Yep.
And make them conditional on the bandwidth of the user.
Progressive enhancements. Yes.
Progressive enhancements. Use the caching of the links.
Speculation rules. Yes.
The speculation rules and the dictionary compression.
Dictionary compression is something that you enable on the server. So not actually something that you have to do in your website. It's on the server that you're hosting on. And this will be beneficial for all your payloads, actually. It will be shrinked drastically. So yeah, there you go.
Beautiful. Medhat, thank you very much. That was very, very useful and very insightful. And for you folks, stay tuned for more episodes of Verbose Mode by Tax here, coming to you live from Shift 2024. I can already see our next guest over there, so we'll be back very, very shortly. Thank you and bye-bye.
Thanks for having me.